A neighbor and friend of the victims was hysterical upon arriving on scene here in the 200 block of West Bridge. Earlier, someone had asked police to do a wellness check.
This video was compiled using information which was made public via news or government agencies and is intended to honor the lives of those who met an unimaginable fate and also bring awareness to the unjust behaviors in our communities. It was around 3 o'clock on the afternoon of Monday, February 25th, 2019, and Bucks County child welfare officials showed up unannounced to the Robert Morris apartment in Unit S7. When the social worker knocked on the door, no one responded. Stillness filled the air. A maintenance worker was requested, and he opened the door of the apartment, and soon after entering, he found 45-year-old Shana Selena Decree and her 19-year-old daughter, Dominique Decree, in a disoriented state. Emergency services were called immediately, and the two were rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment. Officials of the Morrisville Police Department also responded and began trying to piece together what had happened. The two-bedroom apartment was in a disarray, with broken drywall and glass, overturned furniture, and other clutter. As police officers moved toward the back of the unit, in one bedroom, they discovered 5 victims, including 3 children. The scene was described as straight from nightmares. According to court records, one person's body was face up on a bed, with his head toward the end, with his right foot through the wall to the next room. Another was on the bed and another was sitting up against it. One of the children was on the floor and one person was under another body. Following the slayings, authorities identified the victims as Shana Decree's children, Naa'irah Smith, age 25, Damon Decree Jr., age 13, Shana Decree's sister, Jamila Campbell, age 42, and Campbell's 9-year-old twin daughters, Imani and Erika Allen. Authorities were looking for another relative, Campbell's 17-year-old son Joshua, who was found unharmed in New Jersey, where he was living with friends. Bucks County prosecutor Matthew Weintraub had stressed that the teen was not a suspect and his whereabouts were only being sought for safety purposes.
It's a terrible tragedy. Just spoke with the family of all 5 of the deceased, and we were all heartbroken.
An affidavit for probable cause later accused Shana and Dominique, the 2 who were found alive, of killing the other 5, and relatives told media sources that religion may have played a role. During an initial interview with police, Shana and Dominique Decree denied knowing what had happened, then changed their stories, telling police that Campbell's boyfriend and 2 other men had come into the apartment and killed the victims. Later, Shana told police that everyone, including the 3 children, wanted to die and had been discussing suicide. Decree claimed one of the victims, Jamila Campbell, killed 2 other victims before she herself was slain. Ultimately, police said that Shana and Dominique Decree told of a complicated plan that allegedly involved some of the victims killing each other, at least one of them being choked to death, and then Shana and Dominique Decree killing the rest of them. The day following the discoveries, the women were charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of conspiracy. The mother, Shana, was arraigned in the morning and her daughter Dominique in the afternoon. Both women pleaded not guilty, and were ordered to be held without bail, according to booking records.
Held without bail, the mother and her 19-year-old daughter, accused of murdering their family members, are staying behind bars today. They've allegedly confessed to their crime, saying everyone, even the 3 children, wanted to die.
Families of the victims spoke out and expressed their heartbreak after losing their loved ones. Damon Decree Sr., the estranged husband of Shana Decree and the father of Dominique Decree and 13-year-old victim Damon Decree Jr., spoke out to media sources soon after the bodies were discovered. Damon Decree Sr. said he had been calling children's services and the police for the last month to respond to the Morrisville home. "We've been calling and checking and doing everything we needed to do," Damon Decree Sr. told media sources. "Every time they went, from my perspective at least, they said the kids were safe and it's nothing we could do." He also told media sources that the family had been talking about demons being all around them, and apparently they had dissected into some type of cult that materialized online.
To figure out a motive, Decree believes the family got involved in an online religious cult that might have inspired the murders.
I don't know what kind of cult, and they were talking about demons being all around them. I know one of the suspects is my daughter and my wife. They killed my son, and if they did that, I don't want to see them in no same asylum. I want to see them in jail for the rest of their life.
Now, in the meantime, a growing makeshift memorial stands outside of the apartment where that family was killed. The community came together last night for a prayer vigil at a church.
Destiny Harris, who is the half-sister of the twins Erika and Imani, told media sources that the family was going through something religiously and that they decided to drag the kids into it.
Flesh and blood. The loss of the youngest victims, the most difficult to grasp.
My heart, I couldn't breathe, to be honest.
Destiny Harris is still reeling over the fact that she will never see her twin 9-year-old half-sisters, Imani and Erika, again.
They were great kids, and they were smart, and they loved everyone. They were the great.
At Damon Jr.'s school, he was greatly missed and his life was celebrated. Jason Harris, superintendent of the district where Damon Decree Jr. attended, said the 13-year-old made me smile. The district scheduled counselors and therapy dogs to help grieving students and staff. Harris said that he knew Damon personally and that he had a close group of friends who were really hurting.
We now know the causes of death for 5 family members found dead in a Morrisville apartment last month. 9-year-old twin sisters Imani and Erika Allen died of asphyxiation, as did 13-year-old Damon Decree Jr. and 25-year-old naa'irah Smith. Jamila Campbell, the mother of the twin girls, died from strangulation.
During a court hearing, Deputy District Attorney Christopher Rees said the killings took place over the course of 3 days. After the 2 suspects were arrested, multiple court-appointed psychologists and psychiatrists concluded that both women suffered from multiple severe mental illnesses, including schizoid personality disorder, major depressive disorder, and PTSD. A trial was set for June 8, 2020. However, an extension was given due to the judicial emergency declared in Bucks County amid the coronavirus outbreak in the state. Prosecutors then had 3 months to pursue the death penalty for the 2 at the trial, then rescheduled to the 28th of September 2020. In that court hearing, the women expressed remorse as one told court and other family members she still did not understand why the tragedy occurred. The DA's office said multiple mental health professionals said both women were guilty but mentally ill at the time of the murders. Shana Decree's attorney, Krista, said the mother was isolated and delusional and believed that the war was ending and there were demons in her house, which she had to obey. About 16 relatives attended the emotional court hearing, with Damon Decree Sr. speaking about the impact of not only losing his son, Damon Jr., but also his firstborn, Dominique, who had pled guilty for her role in the crime. "I'm so sorry for everything that happened, and I truly don't understand why it happened," Dominique Decree said during the hearing. "The hardest thing for me to do is decide who to say I'm sorry to first," Shana Decree said to their relatives and to the judge in court. "To my family, I am sorry for taking away these beautiful souls in such a horrible manner." Chief Deputy DA Reeves read victim impact statements from 3 other relatives, including naa'irah Smith's father and sister, who said it felt like a bulldozer ran over her when she heard the news. The same day, 47-year-old Shana Decree and a 21-year-old daughter, Dominique Decree, pleaded guilty but mentally ill to 5 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of criminal conspiracy in the deaths of 5 relatives in Pennsylvania. Both women were sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences as a part of a negotiated plea deal, thus avoiding the death penalty. After the sentences, Deputy DA Reeves told the media that he never dealt with a case as heartbreaking as this. "I have never seen a case with this level of sadness, with this level of loss," he said. May the family and friends of Damon Decree Jr., Imani and Erika Allen, naa'irah Smith and Jamila Campbell find solace in the happy memories, and may their souls rest in perpetual peace. Thank you.